Good Friday morning. I'm Dwayne Nelson. A missing child has been recovered and his father's been placed in custody following a domestic altercation in Bristol, Virginia. 27-year-old Caleb Taylor is charged with abduction by force, forcible sodomy, domestic assault, and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Taylor had allegedly taken his 2-year-old son after having some problems with the child's mother. Authorities persuaded Taylor to drop the child off at a military reserve unit in Gray, Tennessee. He then returned to his home where he was arrested. Taylor is being held in the Bristol, Virginia jail without bond. Johnson City leaders have decided to take farmland out of the Suncrest annexation proposal. About 100 people packed into the city commission room last night to voice their concerns. Mayor Jeff Banyas made a motion that charged city manager Pete Peterson to have city staff rework the ordinance. The Suncrest annexation had been comprised of more than 300 acres and was the first phase of a planned 600-acre annexation that includes land along the Bobby Hicks corridor from the Gray Fossil site to Interstate 26. A revised ordinance will be voted on May 3rd. Kingsport man accused of assaulting his girlfriend is behind bars. 24-year-old Jesse Osborne, son of Kingsport Police Chief Gail Osborne, is charged with domestic assault. Those charges stem from an incident Wednesday at a home on Union Street in which Osborne allegedly demanded money from the victim, grabbed her purse, struck her in the face, and bit her on the shoulder. Osborne is expected to appear in court soon. Bristol Nursing Home is once again being allowed to admit patients. The Tennessee Department of Health had suspended admissions at Bristol Nursing Home for allegations of poor staffing, insufficient documentation, and housing of violent patients who pose a danger to residents. The facility had to pay a fine and resolve the issues before that suspension was lifted. The facility has returned to compliance. Overall crime reported in Tennessee in 2011 showed a decrease compared with the previous year. The Crime in Tennessee report released by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation showed 1.7% drop from last year. This is the third year in a row that offenses decreased in the state. Kristen Helm is with the TBI.
One of the categories that was up in 2011 was crimes against society, and those are typically drug cases, gambling, and pornography. We have seen a decrease in some gambling charges, but those drug offenses are up.
The report also showed juveniles made up 8.9% of total arrests, a decrease from last year. President and CEO of BAE Systems Incorporated made a stop at Houston Army Ammunition Plant. Linda Hudson visited the facility for a ribbon cutting of a new control room, which is the first phase of a $142 million endeavor being called the A2B project. This is the largest construction project in the plant's history and will consolidate production from Area A off Wilcox Drive into the main Houston plant site at Area B. And it took the Virginia Supreme Court less than 10 minutes to hear the 2 death penalty cases against a Southwest Virginia inmate who is not pursuing any appeals. In 2009, Robert Charles Gleason Jr. murdered his cellmate at Wallens Ridge Prison in Big Stone Gap. He threatened to kill again unless sentenced to death, and in 2010, he strangled a second inmate while in Red Onion State Prison near Pound. Even though Gleason waived his appeals, state law requires a review of all death penalty sentences for fairness. I'm Dwayne Nelson. Have yourself a great Friday and a great weekend.